Hey there, this is a quick lesson on how to do a VLOOKUP. So I have a data sheet here with a list of employees. We have employee name, employee ID, their department, their start date, work location, and years of service, vacation hours. So right now we're going to look for the manager. So we're going to do a VLOOKUP based off of the department that they're working for. We have a tab down here that says department managers. So that identifies the department and the manager that is associated with that department. So I'm going to go back to my employee tab. I'm going to enter into the cell F2 in the column where I want to bring in the data. So I'm basically comparing two sets of data. I'm going to look up this department on this sheet and pull in this result. So since this is the second column in, we have to remember that number 2 because we're going to be using the number 2 in our formula, and this is why. So this is column 1 and this is column 2. So now we're going to go over to our employee tab and we're going to enter in the formula, which is equal VLOOKUP, and then open paren. Select the data that you're trying to look up on the other tab, which is in this case under the department. So we're going to click on the cell C2, comma, then we're going to go to the tab department managers. We're going to highlight column A and column B. We're going to hit F4 and that adds in the dollar signs, and then comma 2, comma false. Close paren. Enter, and then that pulls up the manager. So in human resources, this person, Samantha Green, works in human resources, and the manager of human resources is Robert Sanders. Now let's go to the tab and see if that is correct. So we'll go back to the department manager tab and look up human resources, and yep, sure enough, it's Robert Sanders. So now we want to fill in the cells for all of the rows. So now all we have to do is just hold your cursor at the bottom and double click, and it'll drag down the formula and it will go all the way to the end. Now we can filter and identify who works for who. So for example, Robert Sanders, we can filter and click on Robert Sanders and we can see all of the employees that work for Robert Sanders. And the same we can do for Joshua James, and we can see all of the people that work for Joshua James, and so on. Sylvia Pinkerton. So we clear that filter. Now this formula is going to stay there, which means if you add a cell or if you change anything on this tab, it will change here. So if you want this data to stay the same, you would copy and paste as values so that you get rid of the formula. So you're going to highlight all of these rows, all of the cells in column F, and you're going to shortcut is Control C. Go to the Paste tab and click 1, 2, 3 values. So that means it's going to get rid of the formula. It's going to copy everything that was in those cells as values, and then you don't have to worry about any changes on the Department Manager tab because it's always going to stay the same here. Next, we're going to learn about the years of service, which I'll show you in the next video. Thank you. Have fun.